Hi, and welcome back to another episode of My Take. My name is Taiwo, and we're going to continue on the topic of sex.
I love it. I
Thank
love
you.
it. That's great. No one said this journey was going to be easy.
Yes, yes,
But it's going to be worth it.
yes.
And you did say something. You said something about. You mentioned sex toys. So there's a question on here that has that. So I'm just going to go
Okay.
right into that. And it
Okay.
says, should Christians use sex toys? And what is your take on the use of sex toys with oneself, as well as with one's partner? I think you've already talked about the oneself because masturbation and all of that.
Right.
But if there's more to say on it, sure, let's delve into that. And then, should you use sex toys with your partner? And I'm assuming that's a married couple.
Okay. So again, I guess my rule of thumb would be those three questions I'm asking. Number one, if I introduce this sex toy into my marriage, um, is my spouse participating with me, or am I doing this in a corner, or when the spouse is not around? If they are participating in it with me, then why am I doing this? Now, in a case where I was describing earlier, preferences, sizes, and things like that earlier, this couple love each other. If I introduce a sex toy into my marriage, does my spouse feel honored?
Mm.
Does my spouse feel respected?
Mm-hmm.
Does my spouse feel loved? And fourthly, can we actually worship God after we do all of those things with a sincere heart, or do we feel guilty? So if you can answer those things, in all honesty, I wanna encourage us. I mean, let me say this: if I'm gonna be, I've also I hear quite a lot. There are things now, there are surgeries now that people do, all kinds of things that are out there that I don't want to get into the detail of it, but you can imagine people do all kinds of surgeries now, either to enlarge or to tighten and all kinds of things. But what I want to say to you is some people, sex toys can be anything from a replica of a penis to folks with leather belts, folks with chains and all kinds of crazy stuff. Again, how at the end of all of these things, do these things honor your spouse? Do these things make you feel, or your spouse feel loved? If both of you get into these things and you feel it doesn't affect your relationship with God, then good luck to you. That's what I can say about that.
Yep, I'm of the same school of thought. If you guys are good with it, there's no harm, no foul. Each person honestly,
Yes.
then sure,
Yeah.
do you. But
Yes.
if one person is uncomfortable for whatever reason, then it needs to stop.
Yes, it needs to stop.
Yes.
It's not healthy.
No, it's not.
It's not healthy.
So then the next question says, why is the average Christian so poor in sexual education and stand the risk of losing their spouse to extramarital affairs? I'm not sure that that's really the reason behind extramarital affairs, but sure, this is the question. I guess some people, that's the reason. What should be done to change this narrative? And that's a very generalized question, I feel like. Saying the average Christian, I'm wondering what research we used, is so poor in sexual education that they stand the risk of losing their spouse. So let me hear what you guys say about that.
It sounds to me like that person has a boring sexual partner.
Hey, and then they decide to generalize this as all Christians or
No,
the average of Christians.
So I'm assuming they mean the.
I know the church doesn't talk about sex.
Correct, which is a good thing.
It's something that you don't hear a lot, and when it
Correct.
comes up, everybody shies away from details.
Correct.
They just give you the
general,
yes.
Correct.
So I'm assuming that's what this person's saying, is that they're finding a lot of maybe sexually inclined issues
Right.
in Christian marriages.
Right.
I don't know.
Are not
It's
being,
possible.
are not being
Yes.
resolved
And so,
or being addressed. Yeah.
yes.
No, and the truth is, no,
How do we change this narrative?
let me tell you, for a guy, I'm speaking for as a guy, we are quite sexual. I know for women will say, oh, this is more involving, you got to do more stuff. Or
Stimulate her mind
stimulate her
first.
mind. I actually want to say something about that. Maybe we'll do that separately.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, because maybe the woman just lies down, or the spouse just lies down and is not engaging. It's just a missionary thing, but somebody's looking for some kind of an excitement. Let's make it fun. Let's do different things. We don't have to be on the bed in the bedroom. We can go somewhere else. Let's go around our house and just all kinds of crazy things.
Again, try the washing machine. Hey, you sit around the house.
So you can do the point really is, let's have a conversation.
Yes.
Sex is meant to be it's also meant to be fun.
Yes.
It's not meant to be boring. You just lie down on the bed and do what you need to do and turn around and go and sleep. No, it's meant to be fun. You look forward to it. Entertainment. Couples should explore. God has made this thing, the proverbial bed that's undefiled, is as wide as you want to make it. It could be your bed, it could be the floor, it could be your bathroom, it could be the washing machine, it could be the kitchen, it could be anything. But the important thing is, again, both of you are comfortable, both of you feel secure. While you're vulnerable, you also feel loved and protected in all that you're doing. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, and I'd like to add that I think one of the reasons why a lot of Christians probably struggle with anything sexual in nature is primarily because of I would say, for those of us who are from African background,
yes.
The things that our culture dictated in terms of sex, just so many things you were told as a child over and over. Avoid it, it's bad, it's demonic, you'll get pregnant, it's horrible, just don't do it. You say that, they've told you so many times, you've repeated it to yourself so many times, that by the time you finally get married, to undo all of that negative narrative, and let's add that the church doesn't even talk about it, or they do talk about it, it's just negative, generally negative in nature, something that is so good, that was created by God, that has been described so negatively, and that by the time you then now are able to, you struggle. You see, those who are not Christians, who did not have to be raised in Christian homes or anything like that, didn't have the same negative narrative of sex. So they transition fine into just practicing it however they please, without any kind of worries in their mind, at the back of their mind. So imagine a Christian child that has just been bashed. Now they throw you into, say, now. Enjoy it. Enjoy what? You just said it was bad, and I'm supposed to be good. So it's that son, child, and parent want to be a good child. Yes, I want to be a good child to my Father in heaven. So for that reason, I want to do all the good things. So when you said something's bad, I don't want to participate in it. I think that's a big part of what has caused. So if I'm going to say, how do we change the narrative? I say, first of all, parents need to stop talking to children about sex as though it's a bad thing. Just explain to them when it should be done, and be more honest about what it really is, and explaining that when you do get into your marital home and to experience it, it's glorious and it's awesome and it's beautiful. Just not at this stage, because water can be great. It can feed, it can grow plants, it can wet things and make things good, but water in the wrong conduit can also destroy a tsunami. Same thing as sex. You bring sex outside of marriage and it is destructive. However, sex inside of marriage is a gloriously fertilizing, beautiful thing,
Right.
explaining that as parents.
Right.
Then the church needs to stop shying away from it.
Correct.
They need to stop acting like it is some, we can't talk to, they're too young for you to bring that up.
Right.
And then,
Correct.
send all the kids out because we're going to be talking about sex today. Or if you're not married, you need to not be in this service because it's about sex, things like that. To me, I think that's how we change the narrative.
And I think maybe I talked about this earlier. I was trying to avoid this. There's a scripture that says, and I think it's also in 1 Corinthians chapter 6 or chapter 7, I'm not sure where it says, I think it's something that says, the for both parties in the relationship, for the lady, her body is for the guy, and for the guy, his body is for her. Sometimes part of why people feel as though it's boring is all the drama you mentioned earlier, how sex has to do with stimulating
the mind.
the mind.
Especially for women.
Right, so here's the catch-22. If your body belongs to me, and my body belongs to you, you seem to be asking me to have to work for what belongs to me.
I think you work for anything in this world. What are you talking about? I'm going to have to disagree with you on that one.
No, and you see the reason why. Let me tell you what somebody mentioned once, and I want us to explore this too, because I know this is something that often unsaid, but it's a big problem in marriages. And again, coming from our culture, I hear this a lot. I've gone to work, I've taken care of the children, all this good stuff. You now want me to participate in sex with you. You have to, in effect, woo me. Sex starts in the kitchen in the morning, or all of that good stuff. But here's the question. I listened to a sex therapist use this example, and I thought it was most fantastic. A friend of yours sends you an invite to a party on Friday night, on Monday morning. The party comes up 5 days from today, on Friday night. And then Monday morning you get to work, you have a long day. You're tired, you go home, you sleep, you go to work, you got a long day, traffic, same thing on Wednesday, same thing on Thursday. And then Friday, you get a reminder of the party on Friday, and you're thinking, I've had a long week, I'm exhausted, I'm tired. And then you finally get home at night. And you're thinking, my friend said come for this party. If I don't go, she was at my party maybe when it was my time she came.
Yeah,
I'm
she's
thinking
always there for me.
I'm tired. So now you've got to get home, take a shower, put on your makeup, put on your clothes, start your car, drive for about 25-30 minutes to get to the party. You get to the party, then you see your friends, then you see the food, and the music is good. You start dancing, hey, what's up?
All of a sudden you get a burst of energy.
Boom! They get a burst of energy, and the party is sweet. But remember that all day, all week long, you were didn't go to this party because you thought it would be boring. And now here you are. So there's this new burst of energy.
Yes.
The point is, when we have sex, we are both enjoying the sex.
Yes.
In fact, I'm assuming for ladies, climaxing is important.
Oh yeah.
So the spouse does that, and you arrive at a place of satisfaction and fulfillment, and they also arrive at. Did you get the difference?
I did.
Even though you did not Monday,
You
Tuesday,
didn't really
Wednesday,
want, but you
when you got there,
take a shower, put on your makeup,
there
get
you
dressed.
go.
Because you're gonna have fun anyways.
Now, but at the moment you are thinking, I'm tired. I just want to get home, have my shower, eat my TV dinner, and go to bed. When you go for this party, then you have this burst of energy. Everything is going on fine. You get back home, you're smiling. You don't want to go back home again. It's 1 o'clock at night. You're still getting on. That's how sex is designed to be. When God says your body is not your own, He understood that sometimes you'll be tired. And yet He says your body is not your own for both parties. But if both parties understand the selflessness of it. I think the issue why it becomes a chore is when the guy just wants to have his way and turn off and go to bed,
Yes.
and the lady is still left unfulfilled. Then it makes our tiredness, our resentment even worse.
Yes.
So I think that's what, and I'd like to hear your comment about this.
Definitely,
I know this is something that many people talk about and they struggle with, and I know it's often unsaid, but in a lot of the counseling we've had when it comes to this issue of sex, it's a recurring issue where people say, "Oh, the guy doesn't realize how tired I am. It's the mind thing. You want to have sex with me at night, start having sex with me in the morning. Give me a break." But if that's the case, really, let's talk more about this.
Yeah, more in the comment section.
Yes.
Let's hear what you think about
Yes,
that.
yes, so-
And the next question, it's funny. It actually, I think you touched on it. So if you have any more to say on it, I'll let you say it. I just want to make sure I read it out. And it says, "I'm not in the mood. Why can't he or she understand?
Boom.
How
And that's
best
the
should
point.
the other spouse handle this?"
And that's the point. I am not in the mood.
Too much problems over that.
I'm not in the mood means that the spouse must work. What the Bible says is his to begin with. Now, of course, she's not in the mood. I'm not dismissing the fact that one party may not be in the mood, and the other party who is gung ho must recognize and work with the spouse who is tired. Life is happening every day. You must respect. You must recognize and respect that she's tired, and perhaps maybe after a good night's sleep, then in the morning you can be about your business. But I'm not in the mood cannot be a constant refrain.
Every night thing, yes.
Then that's where this
Or every day.
it begins to border on selfishness, where
Yes.
you must work to make me in the mood.
I know of cases where some people actually utilize it as punishment. I'm mad at you, so then I'm not
in the mood. I have a headache.
Yes, the proverbial headache.
Yes. and again, all of those things, if we are Christians, that's a starting point. I cannot use sex.
13.
I cannot use sex as a weapon.
No, you can't.
To
Not if you
deny
love
you-
the person.
Yes, but what happens most times is I'm not going to give you sex because you hurt me, or because I'm not going to forgive you of something you've done.
Because it sort of means I've forgiven you. If I'm sleeping with you, then you must be good.
Or maybe I'm letting you get away with murder. So I need to make you realize and feel the consequence of your actions.
Yes.
And two wrong. Jesus Christ was teaching us how to pray in Matthew 6. And the one thing that Jesus emphasized more than anything else in the template of prayer is forgiveness. If you read Matthew 6 in verse 12 and 14 and 15, and you talk about this again in Matthew 18 and elsewhere, is that forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. So none of us are foolish to think we are sinless. And yet, couples go through this when one spouse is often, and I don't want to say which spouse, you're often using sex as a weapon for the husband.
Sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes.
Yes, it is.
It's bank account sex.
Yeah. But I hope this makes sense.
I think so. And there's another question on here. I'm just going to throw it out there, but I think you answered it already in relation to pornography. And it says, is cyber sex or sexting or internet sex really cheating on your spouse? Which to me,
Whether you have a spouse or you don't have a spouse, it is wrong.
yeah, period.
It is wrong. Sex is designed to be a two people event. It is a cementing of a relationship. You're becoming one with your spouse. That's why we are told not to go and sleep with somebody because there's a soul tie. You end up giving part of yourself to somebody else. You don't go through fornication or adultery without the consequence. Part of you is fused with somebody else. God has denied the whole of me, and so God doesn't get all of me, and yet somebody who doesn't care about me is taking a piece of me around, and I'm missing a piece of me. So it's a lose, lose, lose on every part. And for those who have engaged in it, may God forgive us and help us to be restored in Jesus' name.
Awesome. So the last question is a two-part question, and it
Okay.
sounds more like a real life scenario. So I want to make sure that's why I kept it to the end to make
Okay.
sure you have some time to delve into this.
Okay.
And so it says a couple who has been or who have been married for a while. Sex was good at the early age of the marriage. As the years have gone by, the man can no longer perform his duties in bed due to a health reason. The woman is frustrated. What can she do now? That's the first part.
Okay.
Second part says, in another sexual scenario, a husband and wife during sexual intercourse, 5 minutes into it, the husband's done. But the wife is left unsatisfied sexually.
Right.
This behavior aggravates the wife. What can she do? Talking about how she feels to him has not resolved the issue.
Again,
They're different yet.
yes, a similar question.
Yes.
But I'll do the second part first.
Yes.
The first one is more, it has to do with health.
Health, yes.
So I think there's a need to get the health part of it addressed.
Yes, definitely.
Whatever is causing the spouse not to, I guess, want to be sexually active anymore.
Probably a medication
Medical,
or a
yeah,
condition.
yes.
And there's ways around that. There's
Okay.
lots of ways around that medically to help.
Good. So they can find out what those things are.
Yes.
Again, the lady, there are other ways a man can help his wife arrive at sexual fulfillment that does not include a penile penetration.
Yeah.
So those ways are there. The husband can help his wife arrive at sexual fulfillment without, but because he loves his wife, he will do what he must to help her. That's what love is. So
yeah. She says she's talked to him about it and it's not resolving it.
yeah,
So
because for again, when what we've said in the last 2 seconds, most of us can be amazingly selfish.
yes.
And maybe
Ego.
so, even the way we are brought up, and we have this closed mind that we think without penetration, oh, that's a taboo. Oh, that, like you said earlier, how we were brought up. So sometimes, but you need to help your spouse arrive at fulfillment because you love them. Your spouse can feel vulnerable with you enough, and you can be there for them. But also seek medical attention to address the personal issue as to why he or she is not able to get or to perform their sexual acts anymore. So that's that one. Now for the second part, where I think they began, but
some health reason.
no, that was the first part. Second part
okay.
was to do with.
This was the one who, after 5 minutes into it, was
Yes,
done.
correct. So that the guy has maybe premature ejaculation or something.
Yes,
maybe
that's what it sounds like.
He just sort of.
Or he's selfish.
Yes,
There's two.
yes, he has, because again, I think if that's the case, and he can't help himself but arrive there very quickly, then perhaps why don't you focus on let your wife
Be satisfied
satisfy
first. Then
before
you
this is almost very elementary. Again, it's just how in tune are we? How much do I love my spouse?
How is it about, how much am I making it about the both of us?
Yes.
Rather than just about me.
Correct. If I love my spouse, then I want to help them arrive at where they need to get to.
Same conclusion as me.
Then knowing that I am
The
trainer, so to speak.
Yeah,
So then I can help her arrive before I do mine. It's very elementary, but I hope this helps. I want to thank you.
Thank you so much,
guys. Today, I want to thank Tosin LA. We're going to another bank of questions in the next episode. I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel, like us, leave us some comments in the comment section below, or send us more questions on the email that's listed below. And until the next time, this is my take, and my name is Taiwo. God bless you.